So a little while back, I really struggled with this, and I know it's a pretty weird video to make, but I think a lot of guys have a little problem with this. Is when we start using fitness calculators or like calorie trackers. In the beginning, we try and track everything. We're being super good about it. And what happened with me was my mom or dad would cook something that's not like in the calorie tracker because it's home cooked, and it'd be like spaghetti or meatloaf or something like that. And I would kind of get annoyed and I wouldn't know how to like put it in the calorie tracker because it's not a real like store bought food or anything like that. And I would end up kind of eating it and then not putting it in, and then I'd kind of lose lose track of my calories. I'd kind of take off the discipline almost that comes with using a calorie tracker, or like I don't know the responsibility of keeping your diet clean with a calorie tracker, and I'd end up eating a bunch of junk food and stuff like that. I feel bad, and the next day I'd try and be better, and I'd end up doing the same thing. And a lot of guys struggle with this because you know we love our moms, we love our dads, we love when they make food for us, and it's always super good. And if we don't know how to track it, that can really hurt us. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of quick tips on how to track calories that your mom or dad makes, and then nice and easy, you're done. You can continue on with your life and something like that. And so this only really applies if your mom or dad makes like healthy food. If they make like, I know my mom loves to make tacos and she puts them into a bowl for me without the tortilla, fajitas, meatloaf, stuff like that, where it's nice and healthy, like home cooked food. That is good. If your parents make like that kind of dirty, like fast food, or like put a bunch of sugar and extra oils and fats in their food, you're kind of screwed a little bit, but I would still recommend going through these steps because they'd still be important to getting your food done and everything like that. And it's surprisingly simple. So the first thing you need to do is go and hug your mom and say thank you for making me food, because your mom already takes a lot of time out of her day to deal with you, and making you food and showing how much she loves you is a very special thing, and you should always cherish the fact that she does that for you and never take it for granted. So first things first, go hug your mom, say thank you, say I love you, do all that. The second thing is to scoop like the main part of the dish into like a bowl or a plate and just weigh that. So if it's like a chicken curry dish, what I would do is first just grab the chicken and put the chicken on there, and then maybe you get 100 grams of chicken. So then boom, you have 100 grams of chicken on there, and then you pour the curry on top. It doesn't really matter. But the thing is, now you can put in the 100 grams of chicken onto your little MyFitnessPal or whatever, and boom, you've got your food tracked. Now, obviously, this isn't going to be perfect, but I mean, we're going to eat varying amounts of calories every day. I'm not going to eat 3,300 calories exactly every day. Sometimes it might be 3,400. Sometimes it might be 3,200. I know yesterday I didn't have like any time to eat food, and I ended up eating like 3,000 calories. So, your calories are always going to vary, and this little change won't do much, trust me. And as long as you're like, the most important part and like the actual reason we use a calorie tracker is really to keep that. I had the word for it and now I forgot it again. I was talking about this at the beginning of the video when I was talking about how I used to kind of like give up on my calorie tracker after a while because I wouldn't, you know, I just didn't know what to put in, and then I ended up giving up on it. You with By putting in the food, even if it's not perfect, You keep that responsibility to the calorie tracker. You keep that responsibility to put healthy foods in and to stay on your macros for that day because you're still tracking them. And that actually helps a lot because when you end up just not tracking macros and not caring anymore, it kind of, it really ruins it. And if you're new, I know I talked about in another of my videos that, it's not a huge deal, but especially if you're like, because I'm a year into self improvement and I still eat my mom's food nearly every day unless I've got something to do that literally like denies me dinner. In which case, I'll grab something on the way, which is like Chipotle or Cafe Rio, which is another thing. Chipotle and Cafe Rio, the only two restaurants that like the fast food restaurants that I ever eat at. McDonald's and Wendy's. Oh my god, they are terrible. And Chipotle and Cafe Rio are pretty much the only two like good um places to eat throughout fast food restaurants because they actually have like decently healthy food. But back to the point, especially if you're deeper into self improvement, you really need to focus on keeping your calories tracked, your macros tracked, everything like that. Otherwise, it can start, like slipping away from you. And, it's happened to me over the holidays when, well, we bake like a lot of cookies for everybody that comes over on Christmas Eve at our house. And we end up with a lot of leftovers, which is always great. But what happened was I ended up eating those cookies a lot and I didn't like track them at all. I didn't try and put them in even a little bit. And what happened was I'd keep failing on my macros and my diet almost every day. And it was like really sucky for an entire week. Like from Christmas to New Year's, I would always just be eating the same old junk because we had so many cookies and I just loved the cookies and I kept eating them. So especially if you're like deeper into self improvement, not tracking your calories can kind of hurt you, especially if it's been such a big habit for a while, and that it becomes a habit to not track your calories on cheat days, which is another like thing that the cheat day not tracking your calories and then just not tracking your calories will combine into like an extra cheat day that you don't need, you don't want anything like that. But back to the original point, if your mom makes food for you, one big step, go give her a hug. Go tell her you love her. Go tell her thank you for making the food and everything you do for me. Show her the affection, make her feel good about what she was doing for you. And then, two, grab the main part of the food, like the main ingredient in the dish, weigh that, and then you can just pour on the extra stuff afterwards and not really worry about it. And then three, just put that main part into the calorie tracker. And if you want to add like a guesstimation on everything else, that's no big deal. Just do that. And then continue on as normal, just continue tracking calories like nothing happened. All right. I hope this video helped you. I'll see you guys next time. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Bye bye.